Alright, these are our 9-4 notes. I'm actually in my car on the way to a soccer tournament, so if you hear lots of road noise, that's why. So, systems of equations. We know that means that's when we have two equations. They have one solution when they touch one time. That's when they cross anywhere on the graph. Systems of equations, when we have two equations, have no solution when they are parallel because they never touch. Systems of equations have infinitely many solutions when both equations represent the same line. And we've done that over and over and over, so that should be in your head. Okay, so far we have solved systems of equations two ways. We've graphed them and just looked at them to see where they've touched. We've substituted one equation for another to get a coordinate, and now we're going to use what we call elimination. This is my favorite way, and when we have elimination, we either add or subtract two equations. Alright, I'm going to take these two equations I have right here, and I'm going to draw a line under them, just like I'm doing like an old school math problem. The first thing I'm going to look at is to figure out what's the same. And I see that I've got a negative 5y and a 5y. Well, negative 5 plus 5 makes 0. And this is called the elimination method because we're trying to get rid of one part. So negative 5 plus 5 is a 0. So that's the part I get to get rid of. Sometimes you'll get rid of the x, sometimes you'll get rid of the y. Once I get rid of something, then I'm just going to do old school math. And everything's positive, so I'm going to add 3x plus 2x is 5x. Negative 16 plus 31, that's a 15. Now to solve for x, divide both sides by 5, x equals 3. Alright, so I know what my x is. If I go down here to my answer, well, in the x spot, I'm going to put a 3. Now we have to figure out what the y is. To do that, I need you to copy down the first problem. 3x minus 5y equals negative 16. Now I need you to take out that x, because we know what x is, and we're going to put it in. And it's a 3. I just used that one right there and put it in. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 5y equals negative 16. I'm going to subtract 9 to make it go away from that side. Now I have negative 5y equals negative 25. Divide by negative 5. Y equals 5. I'm going to put that right here, and this is my final answer. If I were to graph those two lines, they would cross at 3, 5. On this back side, we're going to start, it says, when the x or the y do not equal 0, change all the signs in the bottom problem. So let's see what I mean. I'm going to draw my line like I'm old school math. When I look at that problem, I see that we got a 2y and a 2y, but the problem is they're both plus, which means 2 plus 2 is 4y, and I'm trying to get 0, so I didn't eliminate anything. But there's this neat, fun rule in math that if you change everybody's signs, it's legal. So if I make my, everybody in that problem, so if I make my 9x a negative, and my 2y a negative, and my 22 a negative, that makes that legal. So now 2y minus 2y is 0, and I've eliminated something. 5x minus 9x is negative 4x. 6 minus 22 is negative 16. I'm just going to divide by negative 4 on both sides, and I'm left with x equals 4. Alright, I'm going to go at the bottom and write my 4 in. Now, we're going to rewrite the top problem. 5x plus 2y equals 6. But we just figured out that x is 4, so erase your x and write multiply by 4. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2y equals 6. We're going to subtract 20 from both sides. 2y equals negative 14. Divide by 2. Y equals negative 7. I'm going to put a negative 7 right here. And if I were to graph those lines, that's where they would cross, and they have one solution. Alright, we're going to do 3 practice problems, and then it'll be your turn. So draw your line. Now, I'm going to put some 1s because that just makes more sense to me. So, I got 1x and 1x. Well, that's the same, but they don't cross out. I can't eliminate that yet. But I do have negative 1y and positive 1y, and those do eliminate. So that's the part that I'm going to pick to get rid of, that section right there. So far, we've only gotten rid of the y's, but you can get rid of x's or y's. It doesn't matter. So now I have 1x plus 1x is 2x. The y's have gone away. 14 plus 20. Unless you see a negative or subtraction sign, assume you have to add. 14 plus 20 is 34. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 and get x equals 17. Now, I rewrite my first problem. 1x minus 1y equals 14. I'm going to erase my y. I'm going to erase my x. I'm sorry. And instead of an x, I'm going to multiply by 17. 1 times 17. 17 minus 1y equals 14. I'm going to subtract 17 from both sides. Negative 1y equals negative 3. I'm going to divide by negative 1. And I'm going to get y equals 3. So my final answer for this first practice would be 17:3. Let's look at our second practice. Alright, drawing my line. Now I got a 2a and a 1a and a negative 3b and a positive 3b. So these are the guys I'm going to get to eliminate. And one's negative and one's positive, so I can go ahead and eliminate. I'm left with 3a, negative 11 plus 8 is a negative 3. Divide both sides by 3. A equals negative 1. So now I have an A. Now I'm going to copy my first problem. 2a minus 3b equals negative 11. I'm going to erase that a. Instead of an a, I'm going to write negative 1. 2 times negative 1, negative 2 minus 3b equals negative 11. Alright, let's add 2. First we got to get those numbers together. I got negative 3b equals negative 9. Divide by negative 3. I end with b equals 3. So my final answer would be negative 1, 3. Alright, here's our last practice. Alright, this this is our last one before I cut you loose. Draw the line. Now, I got 4x, 4x, y, 2y. Well, obviously, the 4x and 4x are what's going to cancel out. But 4 plus 4 is 8, so I got to make the bottom negative. So if I make the 4 negative, I got to make the 2y negative. The 10 is already negative, so I have to make it opposite and make it positive. 4 minus 4 is 0. That cancels out. We eliminate. That's what we wanted to do. 1 minus 2 is negative 1y. Negative 9 plus 10 is a positive 1. We're going to divide it by negative 1. Y equals negative 1. Now, let's go back and figure out what the x equals. 4x plus 1y equals negative 9. 4x, well, plus 1y. So this time, the 4x plus 1, Amy, what am I going to put in place of y? I'm going to put the negative 1, right? Equals negative 9. Alright, 1 times negative 1 is 4x minus 1 equals negative 9. I'm going to add that 1. I get 4x equals negative 8. X equals negative 2. When you write these into your parentheses, remember the x always gets written first. Oops, the y is a negative 1. I don't know where I come up with negative 9. So your final answer is 2, negative 1. So this is how you do elimination. Now I want you to flip over to the practice page, and I want you to pick any 2 problems on that page to work. If the first one's too hard, try the second one. It doesn't have to be 1 and 2. I just need you to pick 2 and show me pictures of the 2 that you've been able to complete. And when it's complete, it shows me a coordinate. Thank you.